Computer gaming was invented in the 1950s and quickly dominated the gaming world as more and more families were able to get computers. Due to an influx of bad games in 1983, computer gaming crashed, giving room for console gaming to take the throne. After a slow comeback, computer gaming regained the throne in 2014, only to lose it again to mobile gaming 2 years later. And while many have theorized that computer gaming would have another comeback, no one expected so many hardcore gamers to switch over to mobile gaming. When mobile gaming dethroned computer gaming in 2016, it was surprising. But then when mobile gaming started to match computer gaming and console gaming combined, it was astounding. PC gaming enthusiasts continue to declare that computer gaming is better and that mobile gaming is only for casual gamers. But what a lot of them don't realize is that many of their PC gaming friends are secretly switching to mobile games as their main platform. They still play PC games, but they actually play more on their phone. And what is crazier is when I look into who these gamers are that are switching over, I found a fascinating pattern that will blow your mind. But before I get into that data, let me give you a little bit more information. Many of you know that I did a series 2 years ago during the Diablo Immortal fiasco covering this topic regarding Diablo Immortal. In that series, I pointed out that many of the research analysts of that time were predicting that within only 5 to 10 years, 80 to 90% of gaming would be on the mobile phone. This prediction was based on what has happened to similar technologies. I gave the example in that first video of what happened to camera phones, where normal camera sales continued to grow even as camera phones became more popular, and then eventually plummeted when the world decided that normal cameras were no longer a needed item. Many pushed back, saying that mobile games would never be as good as computer games, but that was kind of the whole point. Camera phones still aren't as good as a DSLR. Others pushed back, saying that camera phones were not used by professionals, so the professional gaming industry would still say the same, only to find actual professional photographers responding to their comments saying that many of them actually do use phones for a lot of their work. I then used the example of Blockbuster versus Netflix to explain why Activision Blizzard and some of the other big gaming companies might be concerned about being on the wrong end of this technological shift. And then I ended that video dispelling the notion that computer games are better than mobile games at every aspect of gaming by pointing out 3 areas that mobile gaming offers an advantage. First one being the touchscreen, which could allow more dynamic controls, getting us one step closer to Tom Cruise and Minority Report. The second was that a good phone has a more efficient display, mic, and speaker system, allowing for less compatibility issues and offering a much more inclusive system for a fraction of that of PC gaming. And then the third was the convenience and portability of that system, allowing more people to be included, thus creating more gaming options. I give more details and examples of these 3 topics in that video if you want to check it out. The video was loved by some and hated by others. I have never had a more controversial video on this channel, though I think part of that was because there were a lot of Diablo Immortal fans that were still feeling wounded by the announcement, so maybe it was a little too soon. Regardless, in the second video of the series, I covered more questions and then I created a poll to get an understanding of the demographics of mobile gamers. The results of that poll were unbelievable. Instead of finding that the majority of mobile gamers were new to gaming, as was supposed, only 37% of those viewing the video fit that description, and 35% claimed that they were serious gamers in both computer and mobile platforms. And then the most astounding statistic of all was that 28% of them claim that they used to be PC gamers that have switched to mobile as their main platform. In addition to these surprising statistics, I would see multiple comments of gamers saying that they had $2,000 to $3,000 computer setups just sitting unused because most of the time they're just playing on their phone. This obviously blew my mind, and so I started to engage with these comments to get a little bit more information, and I found at least one trend. Most of these gamers that were giving up their PC setups to play mobile games were dads of young kids. Playing on a phone would give them more mobility to move around as they were needed, and due to the nature of mobile games, they were easier to pick up and put down. So this makes sense that mobile gaming would cater to those young dads and would account for a very large demographic. In fact, if you factor in that video games had their first popularity surge in the 80s and 90s, the gamers that are now trying to take care of small kids are kind of the OG video game generation. Furthermore, most of them have jobs, so they are also gamers with money. Now, the numbers numbers I showed you earlier were from 2 years ago. I recently did another poll gathering similar statistics, and you will notice that the numbers look a little bit different, with only 28% of them claiming that they are serious gamers in both computer and mobile platforms, 23% claiming that they used to be PC gamers and have switched over to mobile as their main platform, leaving almost half as gamers that are new to gaming and have never had a computer or console. So this could imply that some of those from the OG gaming generation have returned to computer gaming once their kids get a little bit older. I know this has been true for me, as my kids are now all potty trained, but the numbers of mobile gamers keep skyrocketing each year. Another trend that I found was young people whose parents no longer see the need to buy them a computer. A phone has more uses and is generally cheaper than a computer, so it makes sense that some parents are avoiding this cost. This begs the question though of what will happen to them when they get to college. Will they decide to invest their own money in a computer, or will they stay satisfied with mobile games? Only time will tell exactly what will happen to the gaming industry, but for now the data regarding mobile gaming continues to grow exponentially to where if it continues in its current path, it will eventually dominate the gaming world. And these numbers are staying consistent even though mobile gaming still kind of sucks. Which begs the question, what will these numbers look like if instead of focusing so much on money, mobile game companies start taking this opportunity more seriously and produce the AAA type games that we see on the computer? They clearly already have the technology to do it, it is just a matter of when. One can only imagine how that could affect these numbers. Now, if you're watching this 10 years from now, you might be thinking, duh, everybody already knows this. Why are you talking like you have so much opposition? Just go down and look at the comments from when this was first published, and you will see that the climate right now is that a lot of people are incredibly resistant to this idea. And those comments are probably going to be tame compared to the ones that I got in the series I did 2 years ago. In that series, all I did was share statistics and gave multiple opinions on the subject, and some of those gamers lost their minds like I was declaring the end of the world. If you are one of those people that feels like the world is ending because of this news, I want you to know that it's gonna be okay. Computer gaming isn't going to disappear. As mobile games get better, we might start hearing more and more news about the newest mobile game that isn't on the PC yet, which will definitely be uncomfortable for those of us who love to play computer games, but we can't stop this trend by pretending like it isn't happening. This is how technology works. The cycle repeats itself over and over again. Things shift, and the people that don't want it to change often call themselves the stronger ones to make themselves feel better. They're part of the elite, the originals. But in doing so, sometimes they make enemies with the people that rise to power later on. Mobile gamers are taking over, and they will eventually dominate the gaming world, which will probably have an effect on most areas of gaming. This leads me to what I said in the third video of that series. Those of us that are PC gamers need to get off our high horses and make peace with our mobile gamer brethren. And in doing so, we might be able to pass on some of the stuff we've learned over the years. Which, if we could accomplish that, I predict that would ultimately make gaming better for all of us. Alright guys, I'll see you next time.